All right, guys, let's take a look at what it means to multiply a fraction by a whole number. So, our example we're going to look at is 5 times 1/3. So first, let's look at a picture before we even get to the math. Now, my go-to is pizzas. So let's say we got 5 pizzas, and we have 1/3 of each pizza left. So it's the end of the party, we're cleaning up. Can we slide some pieces together to get some whole pizzas left? Well, if they each have 1/3, I can take these first 3 here and slide all these pieces together, and I would have 3/3. 1, 2, 3, right? That'd be 1 whole, we can see we have right there, right? And then over here, we can slide these 2 together. We're not gonna get another whole pizza, but we are gonna get 2/3 of a pizza. So if we put these together, we can see we have 1 and 2/3 pizzas. In other words, 5 times 1/3 in simplest form is 1 and 2/3. So with the picture, we can clearly see that. Now, another way to think about this, similar to the pictures, is what if I just write the fractions? So what if I write 1/3 5 times? So I could say 1/3 plus 1/3 plus 1/3 plus 1/3 plus 1/3. I could literally just write it 5 times. Now, if we understand how to add fractions, we know we're going to add our numerators and our denominators stay the same. So since we already have a common denominator, we're going to add our numerator. So I'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's going to be 5/3. So as an improper fraction, 5/3 is fine. That's exactly what we want right now. But typically, we're going to put this into simplest form as a mixed number like we did with our picture. So what do we say? How many times does 3 go into 5? 3 goes into 5 1 time. And then if I have 3, 4, 5. I got 2 left over. That's 2 out of 3. So we get the same answer we just did with the picture by adding our fractions. Now, every time we multiply a whole number in a fraction, we're not going to want to have to write out each fraction. So hopefully you can start to see all we're doing is really multiplying the whole number by the numerator. So 5 times 1 is going to be up top, and our denominator is going to stay whatever it is, 3 in this case. So 5 times 1 is 5, and 3 stays on the denominator, on the bottom. So we get 5/3, and again, how do we simplify this? 3 goes into 5 how many times? Just 1 time. And 3, 4, 5, we got 2 left over, so that'd be 2/3. So, the rule is whole number times the numerator, and your denominator stays the same. And we did a couple examples on why that works. Okay, so now that we understand we're just multiplying the whole number times the numerator, let's do some examples here. So I'm going to put 3 on the screen. I'm going to, if you want, you can pause the video, then we'll work them out and see how you feel about it. So here are 3 questions. Go ahead and pause the video for a minute, and then unpause it, and we'll see how you did. Okay, so let's work through these real quick. 7 times 1/4. I'm multiplying the whole number by the numerator. So 7 times 1, and my denominator stays the same. So 7 times 1 is obviously going to be 7/4. 7/4. So now, how many times does 4 go into 7? Well, it only goes in once. It almost went in twice. So 4 goes into 7 1 time. So 4, 5, 6, 7. We got 3 left over. That's going to be 3 out of the 4 we need to make another whole. So 7/4 is equivalent to 1 3/4. Let's take a look at this one. 3 times 1/6. Well, again, we're going to get 3 times 1 up top and a 6 for our denominator. So 3 times 1 is 3 and over 6. Now, let's talk about simplifying if we can. If 3 and 6 have a common factor, we can divide by that. And maybe you're thinking, hey, 3/6, isn't 3 half a 6? Yeah, we can actually divide both these by 3. 3 goes into 3 once, 6 goes into 3 twice. So in simplest form, we do get 1/2. And last but not least, 4 times 1/2. Again, up top, we're going to get 4 times 1. 2 is our denominator, so we get 4 over 2. What's 4 divided by 2? Well, it is 2, isn't it? And let's think about that real quick. What if I have little baggies with 50 cents? So I got 50 cents in my hand, and I've got 4 sets of those. Well, 50, 50 make $1, another 50 and 50 make another $1. So if I have 4 times 50 cents, that's gonna be $2. So right now, because I'm introducing it, I'm showing the step here. 3 times 1, 7 times 1, 4 times 1. I'm showing this step. Now eventually, maybe you feel like you don't need to show that step because you can really kind of jump to the 4 over 2 real quick. But I want to make sure you guys understand what we're doing. All right, the last thing we want to talk about is, what if I don't have a 1 for my numerator? Well, good news, not much changes. We're still going to multiply the whole number by the numerator, and your denominator is still going to stay the same, whatever it was. Just means, instead of this time multiplying by 1 each time, we're going to multiply by something different. So, go ahead and pause this video for a second, work these 3 out, and let's see what you think. All right, so on the top one, we're going to go 8 times 3, so 8 times 3, and we're going to divide by 5. All right, what's 8 times 3? That is 24, divided by 5. Well, it's almost 5 times 5 is 25, but not quite, right? So how many times does 5 go into 24? It only goes in 4 times. And what is 4 times 5? That's 20. So how many do I have left over? Well, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. We got 4 left over, right? 4 and 4/5. That would be our final answer, 4 and 4/5. How about this one? 6 times 2/3. Well, we're going to do 6 times 2, and we're going to divide by 3. What's 6 times 2? That's 12, and divide by 3. Hey, this time we're going to get a whole number, aren't we? Because 12 divided by 3 is 4. So sometimes we might get a whole number, sometimes we might get a mixed number. Just depends on what we get. And finally, 5 times 7/8. So up top we've got 5 times 7, and then we're going to divide by 8. By the way, fractions are really just division problems. We're taking the top, dividing by the bottom. All right, what's 5 times 7? That's 35. What's 35 divided by 8? How many times does 8 go into 35? Well, I know 8 times 4 is 32. That could be as close as we can get, right? To be clear, I just randomly came up with these. I did not know if they were all going to have 4 as the whole number, but hey, why not? So 35 divided by 8. Well, 4 times 8 is 32. 33, 34, 35. 3/8 left over. 4 and 3/8. So, not too tough, is it? All you can do, multiply numerator by the whole number. That stays up top. And then your denominators, whatever it was. Next time we'll get into what if we have 2 fractions. So, keep up the good work, guys.